G'day, welcome to the Detour Live again. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined, as always, by a four-time national road race title winner, but a man who's contemplating opening up his own tipping service for the Tour de France for all the bookies out there. Johnny Trevorrow, mate, you've been on fire. You picked Caleb again last night. How's it all going?
It's going well. He let me down the first day, but I did give the best odds with Christoph, so that was good. Yeah, and I've got the last 2 days right, so I'm on fire.
Jeez, you're on fire with your tips, but straight off the bat, that dial-up internet's cutting in and out. It must be when I go to your full screen, so we might have to keep you on the widescreen, mate. But we have got a massive show tonight. We're going to be chatting with Robbie McEwen about the sprint. We're going to be chatting with Michael Matthews, who's just announced that he's going to be signing with Mitchelton-Scott for 2021. And, of course, we're going to be talking to Matt White, who could be on the verge of taking the yellow jersey. Does it get any bigger than that, Iffy?
Oh, we'll work on it, but not bad to start, mate. Not bad to start.
Now, we're going to get Robbie on very shortly, but just talking about the sprint, how amazing was that effort? I mean, with a K to go, I sent you a text and said, no, Caleb can't win this. And the amount of ground he made up and the gap, it was incredible.
Oh, look, amazing. You know, I wrote a story for the Geelong Addy today talking about all those things. And it's the best sprint I've seen since Robbie won in Canterbury back in 2007. Although Robbie did manage to fall off and hurt himself as well. But I don't know of anyone who could have come from where he was inside the last 100 metres through those gaps, and when everyone else was all full tilt, going full gas, and just to accelerate and go past them like they were all in slow motion. It was staggering to see.
It was fantastic. And as always, we encourage people to join in on the conversation. So if you want to leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube, we'll read them out throughout the show. Brett Rule, you're a legend, mate. Great work, guys. You wait eagerly every night for this show since it started. So that's a loyal fan. So spread the word, as we always say. But one of the things I love doing now with this show, is going through the archives and looking at some of the old vision. Now, I uncovered some fantastic vision that gives you a bird's eye view of what it's like as Caleb goes through these sprints. Now, it was the Jayco Herald Sun Tour 2015. There was the finish there in Nagambie. And before the stage, I said to Caleb, listen, mate, I want to put a camera on your bike. This was way back before this was common technology nowadays. And he's like, what about the weight? It's going to slow me down. I said, mate, it's the Sun Tour. You're going to shit it in. Don't worry about it. And if you can, don't win by 200 metres. No one wants to watch that vision. If you could hold off and come from really far back and weave your way through, that vision would be fantastic. And that's exactly what he did. So I want to play you a video from 2015, and we added some Top Gun music. We're trying to find a nickname for him at the time. And, you should get a kick out of this.
Gentlemen, this is your first hop. The jets you are flying against are smaller, faster, and more maneuverable.
All right, talk to me, Goose.
He's still back there. He's closing in on us. He's closing fast.
All right, Jester. See if I can give you a run for your money here. When you hit the brakes, I'll fly right by.
Okay, you're mine.
Okay, man. Let's turn and burn. Woo!
Jesus Christ.
He's going vertical, so am I.
We're going ballistic, man. Go get him.
I got you now.
Woo!
Jester's dead.
Woo-hoo! Jester's dead. Yeehaw!
Get your butts above the hard deck and return to base immediately.
Now, unbelievable vision. The thing that stands out is how close his chin got to the front tyre. I don't know if he's changed his sprinting style, because there was a period there where it was like he's going to tip over, but it's amazing how aero he can get.
Yeah, he has just changed it slightly. He was actually on the verge of tipping over all the time. But he gets his power like that. He definitely has come back. But I got to tell you, that wasn't a bad sprint. But the one yesterday, that was unbloody believable.
And in terms of viral videos as well, we showed the Greg Van Armament video with Whitey. If anyone didn't see it, Mitchelton-Scott posted it. Here it is again.
Higitas won the bunchie in from Greg Van Armament. Van Armament. Van Armament.
Hello? Okay, just a second. It's for you.
Van Armament. Hey.
Okay. We're going to have Whitey on the show a bit later on, and there's actually been a reply. Now, we are joined by a guy who's been in the news yesterday, and that is Michael Matthews. Bling, welcome to the Detour Live, mate. It's been a pretty big 24 hours. Everyone is obviously over the moon that you're returning home, mate. You're returning home to the Mitchelton-Scott family for next year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good afternoon. I think where you guys are in Australia. Yeah, thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, I'm returning home. I guess the news is out now, and yeah, looking forward to coming home.
It's g'day, Bling. How are you, mate? Look, I've got to tell you, it has created a really, really big story over here, but a really warm story. I heard Dave Macca and Christoph talking for ages on their SPS show today. They were all singing the praises and how wonderful it is that you're coming back home, is how they all seem to put it. Now, I know that you're up in the high Alps in Italy preparing for the Giro, and you did a few laps around the Stelvio yesterday. How did that go?
Oh, if you actually attempted to do some laps of the Stelvio, but she was closed. We've had some storms here the last couple of days, so actually some snow's rolled in and totally blocked the road over the Stelvio. So I got about halfway up, and I saw some signs saying it was closed. But I'm like, nah, way, I'll get up there, no problem. And then yeah, we had a few buckets of snow the last couple of days, so yeah, that jeopardized that. But yeah, hopefully I can open again before the Giro starts.
So I was just going to throw in, can you just take us through, as much, I know you can't talk a lot about that because you're still contracted with somewhere, but the process of what happened in you when you decided to change teams and how it all come about with Green Edge?
Yeah, well, there was the opportunity. Jerry was super keen. Whitey was super keen. So, yeah, the opportunity arose, and yeah, took it with both hands. Had some great memories with Whitey, with Jerry, with the whole of Green Edge, and yeah, looking forward to coming back and yeah, making a lot more.
Now, one of those memories would have to be the Uptown Funk video, Bling, back in 2015. We've got some of your finest work there, mate. How much do you miss making classic music videos like this, mate?
Yeah, as long as you come back with us, Dan, and continue to make some videos like this. I actually watched it again last night. I think it came up somewhere on YouTube. Someone had posted it, saying I should win an Oscar for this performance. But I think if we look back, Dan, it was not my best performance that I've done. I think it was quite rushed. I would have liked a little bit more time to prepare myself. But yeah, in the end, I think it came out great. I think you could see how much fun we were having, all the guys enjoying themselves, not taking it too serious, but yeah, still having fun at the same time. And I think the comments we got from it and were super amazing and made everyone happy. We involved a lot of the South African people around where we were staying, which was also great. And I think it was the highlight of their life, was a year at least, being a part of the video and yeah, being a part of our little world.
And they could dance. I remember the kids at those schools were unbelievable with some of the moves. Now, just on the Giro, you and John actually share a pretty good relationship because for a period there, John was actually your security at the Giro, and he had one job. And I've gone through the archives. In fact, we've got a little sting, Bling. We call it the Detour DeLorean.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
So I just want to play a little clip now, Bling, that'll take you back to 2014 when Iffy was given one job.
One of the challenges has been basically before the race, and having the pink jersey, you become a very popular rider. So the ability to get our rider, in this case Michael Matthews, from the bus to the start area on time to get the start, has been quite challenging. So we approached, well, he was the mascot, he's now the security, in charge of security at Orica Green Edge, that's John Trevorrow. And the first day didn't end up that well. John was asked to do a task, he didn't do the task, he came back and Michael Matthews nearly missed the start.
Yep, today stepped up, had the whistle, got them all out of the way, a couple of hip and shoulders. Bloody sensational.
Let's be honest, Bling, if he was useless, wasn't he?
We had fun, didn't we? We had fun. I probably wouldn't hire you.
And don't let he.
Are you? Hang on, John. Are you denying this? Are you saying that because part of security is like when I want to do an interview, you've got to keep fans back. So are you saying that you kept fans back when Bling was doing interviews?
No, I brought the right people in. I made the decision of who we should talk to and who we shouldn't.
Because I've got another clip which shows how useless you really were.
Yeah, I haven't really recovered yet. It was a hard day yesterday, and I think for everyone, I hope everyone's okay after the crashes. And in the end, we won the stage and still got the pink jersey. So I think today's going to be a nice day.
You still seem to get fans and photo bomb
Yeah, so it's quite interesting to me to have this at the moment. But yeah, it's a pretty fun experience.
Where's your security guard?
I think he's still sleeping.
But I can play this all day.
It's a setup. Anyway.
but on a serious note, Bling, how are you actually feeling and tracking for races later on in the season?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well over the lockdown period. I took it quite serious. I was training really hard, not really long hours, but quite intense. And I think through this period now I could back it off a little bit and just prepare 100% for the race day. And I think you can see a lot of the guys at the peloton at the moment are quite tired from the training that they've had to do in quite a short period from the end of the lockdown till the racing started. So yeah, I think between me and Brian Stevens, my coach, and all the people around me, we did a great job preparing for this post-COVID races. So I think I'm in good shape. Obviously it's quite a strange period with the racing being so late and not so disorganized, I guess. And having the Giro now in October is a bit strange, but in the end we'll take the races as we can get them. I think through this period, a lot of the riders, obviously everyone around the world, but a lot of the riders found it quite difficult to be able to switch back on to racing, not really knowing whether it was going to happen or not. But yeah, I think I got a really good crew around me that supported me really well to keep my head on my shoulders and keep focused on what the goal was of the year, and it was to win bike races. And I think going into Torino and Giro now, hopefully I can finish the season on a high like I did since the COVID period has sort of let off a little bit.
So what I was going to ask, what about the Worlds? So they're about to announce, or they have announcing today, I thought, the new course for the Worlds. Have you heard where it is?
No, I'm normally one of the last ones to hear about these things. As you know me, I don't read much about news. A lot of people around me seem to tell me these things, what's going on, but I just focus on my little bubble and get the job done. And I think from what I've heard, they want to replace the Worlds in Swiss with another Worlds that will be similar course to what they had in Switzerland. So I think either way, it'll be probably too hard for me, but I'll be there to support the Aussies, whether I'm in the race or helping them prepare for the race. I'll be there for sure.
Now, Bling, you're a guy that loves his jewelry. That's where your nickname comes from. I want to know, what trinkets did you buy yourself after winning the green jersey in 2017? Is your favourite colour move from pink from those Giro years into green, or what's the go there, mate?
Yeah, well, that was actually a big thing for me, was trying to find something green, because I think if you remember, Dan, after the pink, I had a really big struggle to try and find something pink after the pink jersey period. So
you got all the boys' iPads, did you, with pink covers?
Yeah,
but you didn't get the video guy an iPad, mate. That was a bit...
Sorry, mate. Anyway. I didn't know that money. I bloody ran out.
Probably. So did you find anything green in the end, or?
Yeah, I think in the end I bought myself a nice green watch, which was quite cool, and got engraved underneath it 2017 green jersey, which was quite nice. Yeah, I think, to be honest, the jersey was more than anything I could probably buy myself. Just waking up in the morning and seeing that jersey on the wall, it was more than any sort of gift I could give myself, I think.
Now, another fantastic memory was obviously in 2016, your stage win on stage number 10. Now, to build up to that, there was so much bad luck in the race for Orica Green Edge for such a long time. Like, they had the massive highs of 2013. Nothing really went right in 2014. Gero crashed early on in England. And then there was obviously that horrific crash that we showed some vision of on yesterday's show from 2015. And they hadn't won a stage. So there was so much pressure. And I don't think what people understand is just how much guys like Whitey put into the sport and how much they wear their heart on their sleeves. And you could feel that tension. You could feel that pressure. And it was all released that day that you won that stage. So I wanted to show you a clip that I think really shows what you meant to that organisation. So when people say that they really want you back, I think it really does symbolise what you meant, particularly in that period.
Daryl, if you have the legs to go again, mate, to draw these guys out.
Come on, Bling! Come on! Come on, Bling, step out!
Great work, boys. Great work.
We won the stage, boys. We won the stage. Concentration all the way to the line, boys. Concentration all the way to the line.
GNT tonight, mate.
We won with Matthews. We won with Matthews.
It's unbelievable. The emotion at the moment, it's just sinking in. I actually just won a stage of the Tour de France after two really bad years of this race, and I was really close to giving in on this race. I just thought this race maybe is not for me. I'd maybe just focus on other races, but today my dreams came true.
Yeah, pretty emotional stuff, mate, and that must make you feel pretty good knowing that there's going to be plenty more success to come, because you're a guy that when you've got strong support around you, and you've reunited with guys like Whitey and Jerry, the best is yet to come for sure.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Dan, there's a lot of obviously mixed emotions in that win. I think at that moment it was official that I was going to leave the team. So like you said before, it was a lot of bad luck with me crashing the year before, with Gero crashing also in England, and for the past I think few years we hadn't won a stage of the Tour, and I think for it all to come together on that day was extra special. based on the team performance we really did together, which made it even more special for the whole team because we were all involved in it. It wasn't a single win from a single rider. It was a whole team performance, and no matter if I was leaving or not, the team still put everything into me to be able to take that stage win. And I think a lot of the guys will remember that stage for the rest of our lives.
Okay, we're about to bring Robbie in, but I just wanted to thank you heaps, Bling, for coming on with us. And I got to tell you, I hear a rumor that the Worlds in Italy is not going to be as tough as Switzerland. It's going to be perfect for you, Bling. I can just see you with those rainbow colours next year, mate. So don't give up on that one. I reckon that's going to be a really good course for you.
Oh, mate, if that's true, let's see what we can do. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, let's see.
All right. Well, as Iffy said, thanks for coming on the show, mate. We really appreciate it. You're a bloody superstar, and really looking forward to your results for the rest of the year, and obviously a big year next year with Mitchelton-Scott. So thanks for being on the show, buddy.
No worries. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Australia, also for all the support through all this. It's been obviously a difficult period, but yeah, looking forward to coming back to the Aussie team next year, and yeah, creating some awesome memories with you guys. And yeah, I just want to say thanks for all the support back home, and hopefully next year I can come back and celebrate in Australia. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks Dan. Thanks Iffy, and thanks Jerry also. Thanks Whitey, everyone that was involved in this to make it happen.
Good stuff, Bling. Thanks for being on the show, mate.
Cheers.
How good was that, Iffy? Michael Matthews, what an absolute
fantastic
superstar.
Yeah, sensational. I've just had Robbie text me. He's got to go shortly, so he's about to come on. I said, we're ready to go. So,
yeah, we're ready to go for Robbie. But yeah, I mean, he's still got so many good years ahead, Bling. And, you know, you look at some of the stages even so far on the tour, like he would have been up in the pointy end for sure, particularly that opening stage that Christoph won.
Yes, I think somewhere made a big mistake not bringing him. He was would have challenged, put out the biggest challenge to Sagan for the green jersey for sure, because he's in fantastic form and he's going as strong as Sagan. He would have finished the tough stages that Sagan, maybe even tougher ones than Sagan. So anyway, I think that was their mistake, but we'll get him back next year and get him into green as well.
Yep, and as we were saying before, we chatted to Bling with Whitey. Greg Van Avermaet actually had a reply to that video, which was quite funny. I've got that for you now.
Hey Whitey, I heard you have some trouble with pronouncing my name. It's Greg Van Avermaet. Van Avermaet. Van
Avermaet. Hello? Okay, just a second. It's for you.
Van Avermaet. And by the way, I won the sprint.
It's great to see teams playing off each other with the social media. It was one of the things that we tried to do back when we did the Sky vs Orica Green Edge competitions, but it's great to see, you know, teams having fun in that regard, because I mean that's essentially what the fans want at the end of the day. And Iffy, I suppose it's a good time now before we get Robbie on to thank the sponsors. We've got obviously Lexus of Blackburn, and I can't obviously forget that photo that you want to put in there.
Yes, great partners. The Moore family sponsor the Lexus Blackburn Bay Crits and the Women's Heralds on Tour. They're wonderful family and wonderful people. And of course, Mitchelton Wines. Well, heck, that's the beautiful Mitchelton Hotel in Gambie. A wonderful place on the Goulburn. No better place when the bands get lifted. Get up there for your first holiday. It's going to be booked out, I can tell you.
And Robbie McEwen joins us now. Roberto, how are you?
I'm on the couch, Peloton. Good, thanks, Dan. Good.
Fantastic analysis of the sprint from yesterday. I'm a big fan of that new widescreen TV you've got with SBS, mate. You're a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, I love it. It's actually something I've been saying I've wanted to have for a few years. I've said I'd love to be able to analyse sprints with one of those interactive screens where I can just draw all over it. Now, it was a budget thing that I can't quite draw all over it, but I've got circles, I've got arrows, and it's a great way to break down the sprint. Everybody can then see how it played out, how it happened, and you can explain it to the layman. And I think even people who are cycling experts like to see it and sit there nodding their heads like, yep, I would have drawn an arrow there.
Iffy, do you want to ask one about the sprint?
Well, look, Robbie and I had a little chat today. He was on the golf course, so he didn't have much time. But it was one of the best sprints. I actually said it was the best sprint finish I've seen since Robbie won in London. So, of course, you like that, Robbie. But and you fell off it to come back from that as well. So there you go. But you've got to look at that overhead to really see how good it was. When you're looking at, when I watched him in the stage, I thought that's pretty good. When I looked at the overhead, especially,
sorry, Robbie,
came from, it's just staggering.
You dial.
We dropped away again. We're back.
He's on carrier.
We're back.
It's the Detour, Robbie. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised.
You're talking about the overhead and how close he got with the barricade.
No, you're right. Well, JT, you couldn't see on the head on. You had to wait ages until you could spot Caleb, and I knew he was there. I was looking for him, but I still couldn't see him. But I knew he was there and coming. But like you said, once you get to the overhead, you could see the whole trajectory of the sprint, who went where, and it's great to be able to slow it down and then pause it at points to see who was going in what direction. But I tell you what, that gap that Caleb went through, that was 100% commitment to this is the only way I'm going to possibly win this stage. And if Peter Sagan comes across anymore, I think Caleb still had a little bit of room to move in his own mind. I reckon he was thinking, I can still clip that pad on the barriers on the right and make it. And I can still clip Peter's elbow and make it. And he got through without touching anything. So it was a good, clean run. But absolutely, on that run in too, what you don't see on TV, it was very slightly uphill, so like false flat, maybe 1% gradient uphill. But it was quite a decent breeze from in front, a headwind. So you saw Laporte went early, Sagan went straight into the slipstream up and over, which left him on the front too early. Then Nizzolo and Bennett passed him pretty easily. And in the meantime, Caleb was riding slipstream to slipstream, and that's why I call it the sister on slingshot. He was just going from one slipstream to the next, just gaining speed all the time. And honestly, when you look at the last 20 metres, he made up over a bike length on Sam Bennett in 20 metres' time at 68k an hour. It was phenomenal.
So obviously you've got to be mental to be a sprinter, and a lot of it comes down to instinct, but you've also got to have the right team around you. How important is it, the relationship you have with those lead-out guys that are willing to put themselves in the washing machine? Is it a lot about what you do off the bike, how you interact with these guys on the bus, all this sort of stuff that comes into it as well, Robbie?
I think the really important thing, Dan, is an understanding of the lead-out men of what's the best way to ride for your sprinter. And I used to say this a lot to my guys. It's one thing to blast away on the front and put someone in the lead position with 200 metres to go and expect them to win the sprint, but it depends on the type of sprinter. And we've seen quite a few times, Caleb is the type of sprinter who is better coming out of the wheels at speed, finding a gap and making that really strong acceleration in the final metres rather than just going from the front at 200. He becomes a little more vulnerable, even though he's low in aero, and he still wins races that way, mind you. But he seems to be even better and certainly more spectacular when he's coming out of the wheels and did it like he did. But so he gets his guys to get him in position. And he even said, coming in last kilometre, he intentionally dropped back a little bit further because of the headwind, and he was holding his lead-out men back a little bit from really hitting the front and giving it everything, just at the front, not on the front, but close enough to make his attack.
You got another question, Iffy?
Yeah, well, it's, what I felt for him was that losing Deccan Cobb and Gilbert meant that the others had to share more load. And Roger had to go do a lot of work earlier. So he'd finished his stuff before, like around about 2K to go, left. And then, whereas normally he's the last man. So he was a few men short. So they got him into a position at 2K, but he had to do the rest himself, which must remind you, Robbie, of many, many of your stages in the Tour de France.
You there, mate?
Yep. Do we get all that?
I'm going to guess half of what you said then because it was breaking up so badly. But just another detour.
That's actually not your fault, John.
Yeah, without Gilbert, without Cobb,
it's SBS cutbacks, mate.
Depleted, obviously losing two riders, the caliber of Gilbert and Deegan Cobb, and they're both going to be really handy in the lead out. But and of course, they went into the stage knowing exactly what the numbers were. So they're able to just get themselves to the front and sort of hang around the front. And I mentioned, I think, in the commentary, they were just waiting for other riders to come through and provide that extra man they needed. At one point, Jasper de Burst was there, and he let himself just freewheel ever so slightly until someone from Sunweb came through to the front. He picked him and thought, beauty, you're net teammate, effectively, and kept going like that. So, they've worked really well with what they've got. And honestly, when you've got a guy like Caleb Ewans in the team, you've just got to get him in the vicinity. And even yesterday, 300 metres to go, he was in 17th position.
Yeah.
Staggering.
But he got it done.
Yeah.
Just to give perception to what a Tour de France stage means, can you put a value from a sponsorship perspective or so forth? Like, how big is it winning a stage of the Tour de France? Like, even if you were just to win one stage for the Tour. You there, mate?
Well, in terms of being, this is his bread and butter. Tour de France stage wins. That's why. That's why he's on the team. That's why he's employed by Lotto Soudal, because he wins Tour de France stages. That's what it's all about. So, I mean, his contract value is to the millions is determined by what he can provide the team at the Tour de France.
Yeah.
You put it in terms of, say, a French rider who may in his career win one single stage in the Tour de France in a 12-year career, but that will be a name to do the round and ride for every single French team years at a time, really get to the end of his career and be famous for Tour de France.
I think Robbie now holds the jersey for the worst internet we've had on the show so far.
Oh, someone had to take it off me.
But no, we're really enjoying the commentary, mate, and it obviously must be different not being on the ground. How have you found it doing remotely? Because you're in Sydney, and obviously Bridie and Matty are based in Melbourne. Matty was giving us insight the other night, saying he's now watching you to wait until you finish your food before he goes to the next question. That's the face of a man with bad internet.
It was really hard to catch that, and it was breaking up. There are challenges in doing it remotely. I'm in Sydney. Keno and Bridie are in Melbourne, but it's actually technology's good, and SBS have got it. So it's a lot. On that note, I'm to my apartment here in Sydney. I've got a 10-minute drive to get to the studio, and I was expecting 5 minutes ago, but that's me.
All right, mate. Well, we better let you go. Next time we'll chat to you. We'll get you from the SBS studios with the cable internet, the NBN. Good on you, Robbie.
Thanks, Robbie. See you, bud.
Yeah, he's doing these ones off here. You can't hear us. Great insights, but as I said before, that screen, that interactive screen now is brilliant for SBS because it's like the cricket, when they get to draw little circles and particularly for a lot of people that tune into the tour aren't necessarily diehard cycling fans. So, to understand the mechanics of a sprint and so forth is obviously pretty important. One other sponsor we forgot to mention before Iffy was Let's Go Motorhomes. They've been a great support for the show, and there's a discount, 5% if you order 60 days in advance, and that's when the COVID restrictions are going to be clearing up. And let's have a quick look at the Stage 4 profile, because as we mentioned at the top, you're the oracle of the Tour de France so far. But actually, we've got Matt White, who's joined us now, so we can go through all the stage predictions. Whitey, potentially a huge day for the team, given that it's the yellow jersey's up for grabs, and Adam Yates is obviously in super condition.
Yeah, look, it is, mate. It's it'll be a little bit different in the final today than the other day. I think the other day in Nice, people were riding for GC. I think Adam really caught a few people napping there with that move on the cold airs. But today is going to be about the stage win, but it's also we are not just racing Alaphilippe. We are racing 20 or 30 guys who could potentially win the stage. But Adam's in great form, and I think it's going to be the first big showdown of the Tour de France this afternoon.
I think it's going to be a bigger showdown than Stage 2, actually, because those climbs, although they were big on Stage 2,
you're just cutting out, Iffy.
Hill climb finish. That'll be right. I'm just saying today is the first real showdown of the tour. It's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's the first proper climb, sustained climb of the tour, and we're going to see who's coming into the tour hot and who's got a little bit of work to do.
Now, Whitey, we've often talked in the team cars over the years. I've sat in on many meetings, and a lot of people used to come up to me and say, how are you not a DS, Dan, with the way you can read a race? Now, I've had a look at the profile for you, and I think that the key today could be if you can get a guy in the break like a Nieve, who's 4 minutes 40 off GC, send him up the road, and then with 6K to go, get him to wait up. Adam Yates gets across, and Nieve hits the gas, drops him off with 2K to go, and then Boomba, pull a gap on Alaphilippe and the rest, and you're in the jersey.
Well, if it was only that easy, Jonesy.
mate, if you want to get into breakaway, just follow Sagan. There's a sprint at 51K to go, 51K in. He'll be getting in the break today for sure.
Yeah, no, look, I like a bit of your plan there, mate. I like a bit of your plan. I think if there's a bigger group going down today, Mikel will be moving. But I just don't think Quick-Step will allow a big group today. If it is a big group, it'll take a long time to go. But look, that's our plan with Mikel in general, to send him down the road on multiple occasions. That's why he's off GC already for starting today, then in the Pyrenees and the whole back end of the race. But look, mate, we don't want to show all our cards just yet. There's a lot of racing to go, especially for these climbers. And like I said, we're not just racing one person for the yellow jersey today, but all the best climbers. And you can still throw a blanket over the best guys. But look, if we have a good climb today, it's anything's possible.
How many times will you say in the car when other teams come back and ask you to put guys on the front? How many times will we reply with, mate, we're after stage wins. We're not after the jersey. We're not putting guys on the front. That's not our objective today. Yeah, look,
I reckon I'll probably just revert to putting my phone next to my ear and pretend that I'm actually on the mic. That's a lot easier.
Now, I've really been enjoying the backstage passes as well, mate, and we're getting some classic insights in the team car as well. One of the things you were mentioning is these face masks. I think Matty Heyman was saying it you can really suck in your breath all day, and you're tempted to dip it in Vicks. How you progressed with the mask development?
Well, one thing for sure is we are definitely washing them. It sort of defeats the purpose if you leave your mask on for a week without washing it. So I washed mine with a little bit of hotel shampoo the other day, and it's got a nice fruity fragrance this morning, mate. But look, it's only early days in the tour with the dipping it in Vicks, but any kind of a head sniffle would certainly help. But it is, look, it's a pain wearing these for 10 hours a day, I tell you that. But it's all necessary, and it's law here in France. We're outside and even on the bus. The only time we haven't got these masks on are in our own rooms and at meal times.
Now we need
Right.
to get some tips from you, mate, because we're getting into the betting side of things, and I've got all the odds here in front of me. And even though we've already backed Adam, Dan and I have got a little wager on him, and we've got $9.50. But really good odds: Bernal at $19, and Carapaz at $26, and Bork Mullima at $26.
Yeah, look,
How about that?
as you know, they're good longies, but as you know, they're guys I obviously can't put any bets on at the rate. But look, they're guys that are going to have to. They're certainly not the favourites to win today's stage, and I would expect Bernal to be pretty quiet today, and Mullima, look, he's a diesel. If he's going to go, it's going to have to be from far. So look, they're all guys. They're in that group. Like I said before, they're in that group of 20 guys who potentially could win the stage. So yeah, not a bad one.
Now, we were talking to you at the start of the tour, and you're worried about your car position. You're in car position number 2 now, which is right up the front. But that does not mean that you are not immune to drama in the convoy. We had Michael Matthews on earlier, and I was looking through the archives, and I found some classic vision from the 2014 Giro when you had the number 1 car. I just want to rejig your memory, Whitey, of a classic day. Oh, that was high drama behind the wheel that day. You don't have to worry about driving anymore, mate. So it must be a little bit more relaxing being in the team car nowadays.
Yeah, look, it's different. It's good. I can concentrate on the race radio on the television, and the funny thing about that video is all my actions there were right in front of Jerry's face. He was a passenger, and just a little bit of background on that story when I lost my marbles there to one of my fellow sports directors. Is we were sitting car 1, and I won't name names which team it was, but we're up going on a climb up on a ravine. On the right hand side was a massive ravine dropping a couple of 100 meters, and this buffoon came in and to give water bottles. It was 70-80k from the finish. There was no stress at all in the race, and he chopped us like big time, and I had to swerve out of the way. We're on the edge of a ravine, and this guy drives like a maniac all the time, and there's just no need for that sort of speed so far out. It wasn't urgent. No one had crashed. No one hurt themselves. It was for a bloody water bottle, and I lost it because that's people's lives are in safety. And anyway, I gave up. Gave the guy a bit of a mouthful, as you saw there, and then if you do remember, Jonesy, he needed to then chase us back through the bunch to give a serve back. And anyway, we spoke to the UCI, and he got a official reprimand for ridiculous driving, and we sorted our differences out the next morning at the quarter stage.
I remember we sent the vision to the UCI, but I trimmed out the spray you gave him. So the select vision of the bit where he cut you off, and then it looked like you were just cool, calm, collected afterwards.
It was. It certainly wasn't PG, that's for sure, there, mate.
No, but and then it was also that famous Tour Down Under when we wrote the front end of the Renault off with Jerry in the car as well. So maybe it's Jerry. Maybe it's just the Jerry nerves that
extra pressure.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, both those days resulted in victories. So.
Oh right.
The one you're talking about Down Under is actually when Gero won into Victor Harbour.
That's right.
When Michael won as well. So the one in Victor Harbour. I remember that one as well. We're at the back of Strathalbyn there, just after the feed zone, and it was a dead straight bit of road, and someone had punctured. So when the convoy's in a straight road, no one's expecting people to jam on the brakes. And I remember I was just giving Matt Heyman a bottle, and someone had punctured 5 or 6 cars up. And then all of a sudden, bang, bang, everyone was braking. And I didn't see it till the last minute because I had half my on Matt Heyman giving him a bottle. And just at the last minute, I just had to brake. And I knew I was going to hit the car in front. So I tried to get out of there as good as possible. I swung it out, and just Jerry's side on the left-hand side smashed the car in front. That's all.
It's always the way. But anyway, as we always say, we wish you all the best for today, mate. Hopefully it all goes to plan, and Nevi gets in the break toes Adam up with 6K to go, and then hang on, John has a question. He has his finger up before we go.
I tried to do the finger. Which is that the way I do it? Oh no, the other way. Yeah. Whitey, I've had a lot of people questioning what's going on. Is there a plan B from ASO about, like, on Monday are going to be all these tests? What would need to happen for the tour to get cancelled? I've got these paranoid friends. I said, no, we're going to Paris. He said, no, but how many teams would have to pull out for them to stop the race? Has there been any numbers said by anybody?
No, nothing at all. And look, having communicated with the ASO as well, is, everyone knows there has been some false positives. So if anyone does have a positive test, they'll be rechecked. So that's the good thing about that. And look, the first, when we arrived in Nice, 600 people were tested, and there was only one positive. So look, the most dangerous part for us is the travel when you're on aeroplanes and going through public places. So we're in our bubble now. Everyone's going to need a little bit of luck, but at the end of the day, the ASO want this race to go ahead. All the teams are taking as much precautions as possible, and I think the Tour de France will continue. Look, I haven't got a crystal ball, but so good so far.
Thanks, mate.
And one last thing before you go, we had Michael Matthews on before, and he said that the thing that sealed the deal was after chatting with yourself and Jerry, and he obviously seems super excited to come back to the family next year. Obviously, a big signing for the team for 2021.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. And look, Michael's he's only 29 years of age. I think he's still coming into the prime of his career, and I think really does complement the roster that we have for next year. And we're going to be able to target some different races that we weren't able to target with the current roster. And I think we've got a great team to support him. And look, he's been here before. He knows how the team operates, and we haven't changed that much over the years since the 3 years that he left. And it is exciting to have a guy of his talent back in the roster for 2021 and beyond.
And John, you're putting your hand up if you wanted assistance at the Tour de France's security. You're willing to help out for sure.
No, I'll go back to my team mascot role and chief bidden deliverer.
Yeah. Just make sure there's plenty of hand sanitizer.
Over 12 months' time, if you're back on the bottle program, mate.
Good stuff.
Exactly.
Good
all right,
stuff.
all the best today, Whitey.
Cheers,
hopefully, Yatesy has a ripper. Good on you, mate.
Yeah, good luck, bud.
See you, mate. Always great to get insights from Whitey Iffy. Now, before we go to your predictions, which if anyone's been watching the show, they're going to be glued red hot to these. We've got a quick message from our sponsors, Bike Exchange.
We are the world's #1 bike marketplace with over 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Okay, John, it's time, mate. Who's going to win stage number 4?
Look, I was so impressed with Adam Yates on stage 2 when he closed that gap across to Alaphilippe. And they all are saying, the others weren't worried. Mate, that was impressive. And he's in form. So this is his chance to take the yellow jersey. And I reckon he's going to have a real big bash in the last kilometre right away from them and take the stage.
Okay. I'm going to have to agree. I can't go against on a stage like this. You can't not say Adam Yates, mate. And that would just be fantastic if they can get the jersey for sure. It's been a monster episode. And, yeah, keep supporting the show. As we always say, if you want to get behind it on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Detour pod. And on YouTube, search the Detour podcast. And if your mates have been getting behind it, you want to have a shout out to any of the guys from Geelong?
Yes, I was out with a bunch this morning. I was a little bit late because I had to write my Addy story, but they bagged me for that. But they're loving the Detour Live. And just to add a little bit for the trifecta, I'm going to go Roglic. Keep Cogboy happy with that. And Julian Alaphilippe.
So you've got the top 3 favourites. So Christy Baxter, how are you, Christy? She wants to know what were those odds on Yates. He's currently $9.50. So, yeah, that's pretty good value. So Yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the coverage on SBS. They're doing a fantastic job. And, we'll see you again soon for another episode of The Detour, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And Yates, you can. Let's hopefully see him in yellow by this time tomorrow.